Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
This act is getting old. They cannot get a hit when there are runners on base. Bases loaded. Let's do something. Can we please add some runs? Can we please get more on the scoreboard? Nope. How about a leadoff double? Hey, leadoff double! Sosa! He tries to spark the team. Nope. Pache, Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, nowhere to be found. This game was lost from about the first inning to the fourth. Look, you actually did attack in the early frame. Nick Castellanos back in his hometown. You're up 1-0. But between JT and Sosa, after India gets on second base, he takes off for third. The ball hits the wall. The ball hit the damn wall. And that scored the run to tie it up. So you thought maybe you could establish something, and now it's already back to being tied. The bases are loaded. Kyle Schwarber, please. Failed. He did hit a home run in this game, but we need timely hits. They don't know how to come up when the moment is there for the taking. And by the way, there was another base running blunder. It just so happens that they got super lucky, but Pache, rounding first base, should have been out. But no, we'll forget about that. And there's no way. Look, I'm actually going to defend Pache here, even though, well, I'm not really defending it. It's stupid on his part. But I'm saying, Rob Thompson, if you don't make the example of Bryson Stott, you don't make it an example with Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber, I'm sorry, it can't come down to Pache, because that doesn't mean anything. Now, Scott Lauber, who covers the team for the Inquirer, when the lineup came out today, noted that because of the lefty who was on the mound today and because of who's going to be projected to be on the mound throughout the rest of this road trip, you're not likely to see Pache in the starting lineup, maybe defensive replacement stuff or whatever. I mean, you're going to have a lead and actually hold it till the end of the game and then not blow it. But anyway, I digress. One step at a time, I guess. But because of maybe what you're going to see on the mound in the upcoming days before you return back to South Philly, you might not see Pache anyway. But that irritated me, I'm not going to lie, the lineup. I'm okay, and I actually like Rob Thompson staying with Bryson Stott at the top of the lineup with a lefty-lefty. I got no problem with it. I'm actually a fan. But if that's what you're going to do, Rob, Brandon Marsh needs to be in there too. Brandon Marsh against lefties this season. Not that there's 8,000 at-bats to view, but I do think it's important to note he's hitting .364 against left-handed pitchers this season. He's got 3 doubles and a home run and 4 RBI. He should have been playing too. That's not the difference in this game. They didn't have enough offensively, and I didn't think Bailey Falter was good enough. You can say all you want that there were some infield hits or hits through the infield, hits through the left side. Well, that's scoring runs. Let me get this straight. We're going to devalue that when the Phillies had some big-time players, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryson Stott, at the dish with plenty of runners on base, and they couldn't do anything? Why didn't they do that then? Why didn't they hit little singles up the left side or singles up the middle or singles to the right side? The Reds did what they needed to. Bailey Falter wasn't good enough. 4 2/3. A lot of runs scored. I ask him to put the team in a position to win. There were a lot of runs scored today. You know, can you win a game when you allow 6 runs? Yeah. Can you win a game when, your starting pitcher allows 5? Yeah, I mean, in theory, you could. If a bullpen guy comes in and can help out, if men are left on base and all that stuff, yes, you can. But I need more of a... If Falter's going 4 2/3, I need 1 or 2 earned run. That's what I asked for out of Falter for me to say that he did his job. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 2 earned run. 4 2/3, 1 earned run, 2 earned run. That I could live with more. This falls in the category of, I'm sorry, but there was too much of the plate. They weren't crushed and demolished for some of those RBI hits. But it was enough. It was enough. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of that due to defensive alignments being different this season. Now, specifically for left-handed batters, that was more of the problem for some of the lefties. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to see it all over the field. And it is what it is. I think your starting pitching wasn't good enough. Your offense completely failed and went quiet. And when you did take the lead early, you gave it right back. And then at the end of the game, these innings, were they not 3 seconds? Did it not feel like the inning just started? And before you know it, here's Ruben Amaro Jr. and Tom McCarthy going to break. Well, that was a quick one. What's the approach at the plate at the moment? So many thoughts are going in my head. I'm jumping around a little bit, but going back to Rob, this is the problem. There's so many areas that I have so many opinions on in so many negative ways because of everything going wrong. This is where Rob Thompson bothers me a little bit, and this is going back to last night's game, which was the loss to the Miami Marlins in extra innings. Not only did Rob Thompson say that he thought they played a good game, which is nuts to actually say that out loud and mean it. When discussing Pache in the 10th inning, the bunt thing, the awful at-bat, he goes, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was along the lines of this. I said if it was there, you can bunt. I'm sorry, what? No. It should go more along the lines of this. Here, this is me being Rob Thompson. Fucking bunt! Bunt! Not, well, if it's there, Christian, you can bunt. You don't have to, Christian. But you could bunt if you want to. Let me do what I would do again. Fucking bunt! What is this lackadaisical? If it's there, you can bunt. It pisses me off. There needs to be more authority involved. Rob, you could be a player's manager and still tell these guys what to do. It's crazy to me. There was no sense of urgency to get the bunt down. It was a more of only if you want to. No! Go do it! It amazes me. So now you lost 3 straight games. The numbers are sickening when you have players on base and you can actually put runs on the board. Now, I do believe that there are flows in a season when this happens. There will be a stretch where they do the opposite of this. Let's say it's 3 for their last 21. There'll be a scenario where they end up being like 15, 16 of their last 21. I do think it evens out at some point. It goes back to something that we've kept pounding to this point, and that's falling behind so early that you're asking this team to win at a 65% clip again. JT, okay, so he got a hit. I would have probably flip-flopped him and Bohm with this lineup. I know I'm probably getting a little nitpicky with the lineup every single damn day, and it's so early in this season, but, you know, you're 4-9. You're 4-9. 13 games in. When this is your record, I think everything's on the table to analyze, even though I don't think the lineup today was why you failed. Rob's lineup today is not why you failed. The players failed Rob today. But it was Stott, Turner, Schwarber, Nick, JT, Bohm. I probably would have flip-flopped JT and Bohm for whatever it's worth. Does that matter? No, I don't think that changes the game. Falter allowing 8 hits. 5 runs were on the board. That's where it gets a little blah. Another day, another annoying night. Is anybody having fun? I thought this was going to be a blast. I did. I thought we were going to kill it. I thought we were going to start the season off. These teams aren't good. Let's remember, the Phillies last season beat up on Washington. They beat up on Miami. They beat up on teams that they were better than. I'm sure you're thinking right now, well, Broads, they're not better than Cincinnati. Maybe they're not better than Miami. I think they are. I do. I think they are. And I want to, before we go to the phone lines, I want to try and find the stats of last year's Phillies team against some of those squads I just mentioned to see their full-on records. But I don't know if I can see it broken down the way I want because it's just giving me their individual stats, schedule, and roster. No, I don't know if this is team splits. No. That's a little aggressive. Batting. No. I don't want to go there. All right, maybe my phone's not the best way to do it. Regardless, I know they beat up on Washington. I know they beat up on game logs, detailed stats. Nah, forget it. Hold on, I know a better way. Phillies versus Marlins 2022 record. The Phillies were 6-3 versus the Marlins at home. Head-to-head in 2022. The Phillies, holy crap. All right. Why can't they make this simple? Anyway, whatever. You get my point. Let's talk to you. Let's do this. Let's go to the phones.
Man, watching us in Cincinnati is just heartbreaking, especially since now I've watched Lehigh Valley and Durham, North Carolina, twice lose. So I'm extra pissed off to watch 2 back-to-back Philly organizations lose. Pache, I can't take him anymore. I cannot stand this guy anymore. I get it. He's not the only contributor to the Phillies. Phillies losing right now, I get that. He's not the only contributor. But when he walks up,
I think that he's driving and that's hurting my ears. So I apologize. But I'm just going to go to the next call because that was like a minute long and there was 45 more seconds of that and my ears couldn't take it. I apologize.
The Phillies suck. Hey, bros, I've got a project I've been working on all week. I've been doing a painting job I have an extra chair if you want to come watch the paint dry. It's more exciting than watching the Philadelphia Phillies get their butts kicked every freaking night.
There you go. We're at the point now where people want to stare at a wall instead of watching the Phillies. Taijuan Walker on the mound tomorrow. Taijuan Walker. He's very confusing to me because I look at some of his pitches and I think they're gross. But he doesn't put the package together totally. Not yet. Not yet in the Phillies uniform. He eats innings. We see his stats with New York. We've seen him firsthand over the seasons, fighting up against him, going to war, going to battle. You were in the trenches facing him. You've seen that he's able to be a weapon. But in the early Philadelphia Phillies tenure, there's some things in isolated innings. Innings 1 and 2, awesome, electric, splitter, gross. And then he can't maintain the strike zone. And he's putting guys on for free. I'm sitting here telling you that I'm nervous about Walker tomorrow. I'm sick of always mentioning the long term. Well, long term, I think they'll be okay. Long term, I think Nola will figure it out. Long term, I'm not hitting the panic button, right? I've said that 1 billion times already. Well, I'm kind of sick of that always. I'm sick of that. Why can't I just enjoy, be like, you know what, I can't wait? I can't wait for tomorrow's game because I know that my team will win. I know that they will show up to play. I know that the starting pitcher is going to take the mound with killer eyes and shine. I'm sick of it being the other way. Sick of it. Now, Amadeo looked it up. 12-7 against Miami last year. Will you be able to find me? Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. The Nationals. Phillies versus Nationals. I think it's important, though, because you should be demolishing Cincinnati. Splitting this series, I don't care that it's a road series. I really don't. 2-2 is unacceptable. And I'm basing a lot of that off of what have you done for me so far? Nothing that I accept. So for every series you lose and for every series you don't do your job, that makes the next series that much more difficult. That makes there more pressure. And I think there's a reason why some of these guys are failing when there's runners in scoring position because they know that. They are pressing. Rob was asked about it after the game. He made it seem like they're not. Well, they are. They are. Because they know what they're doing is unacceptable and they know what they're doing is not good enough and they know they can't fall behind too early because last year is too hard to do again. So the more you lose now, the harder it becomes. 16-3 versus the Nats. Damn. I knew it was good. I didn't know it was as good as that. Look, I'm just hoping we get Bryce Harper over at first base being a stud. I love that move, by the way. Absolutely love that move. I wonder if Reese is going, yo, dude, come on, man. But I actually love the idea of Bryce Harper over at first base. I don't know how it looks, but you know that guy wants to be out there on the field for his team. And I'm sure he's frustrated watching this mess too. But I would think there's enough here to compete against the Cincinnati team. So like I said, the 2-2 record, if that's what it is in a 4-game set on the road, no! I'm not allowing that. You got 4 in Cincy and 3 in Chicago against the White Sox. 7 baseball games. Minimum. Listen to me. Minimum 5-2. Minimum. Now, if you did your job before we got to this away stretch. 4-3 on the road. Maybe I could live with it. If you swept Cincinnati the first series, if you won 2-3 against the Marlins, if you won a series in Texas, more wiggle room. I could live with 4-3 easier. 4-3 now, still not good enough. 5-2 minimum. You hear me? All right. What's next?
I was breaking balls before, but now I'm really getting concerned for you, bros. 65-win team. You have to deal with reality. Last season was a fluke, a freak of nature, a stray shot of sperm. No chance to ever do that again. Not with this floor. No pitching, no relief pitching. Fat, overindulged players. Disgusting. Bad management. Terrible. Horrible fundamentals. What more can you say about this team? Disgusting.
That caller's nuts. He calls in a lot. At this rate, I can't even debate. I can't even argue him. That's how bad you're playing right now. That's how low the Phillies are. That one of the craziest callers who leaves the most nonsense messages all the time. We're at the point where he's right. They lack fundamentals. They're not doing anything right. They can't play properly. They can't think the game. Now, I'm not saying everything he said is right. I think he called some of them overweight player, this and that. I mean, I don't know who he's referencing. Kyle Schwarber hits home runs. I'm not calling him overweight. I'm just saying he's a bigger guy. But he does his job when it's all said and done. I mean, I'm not worried about Kyle Schwarber. I think he'll figure himself out. I want to appreciate this team, but they make it so hard. We can't put any rally together. Those at-bats late in the game, pitiful. The innings are flying by. It's 1, 2, 3, you're back in the dugout. And when you finally do find some sort of structure in an inning, Bryson Stott makes it 4-3. Not this game. Well, we saw this recently. Bryson Stott makes it 4-3. Gets picked off at first base. We can't let it go that it happened again today. Because it didn't bite you in the ass because the Reds blow, we can't forget that it happened again. So, happened against the Rangers, happened against the Yankees, happened against Cincinnati, happened against the Marlins, happened against Cincinnati. It happened again against Cincinnati. I don't know how many times it needs to happen until there is something done about it. It needs to be more than just Rob Thompson saying, hey, guys, right, let's go back to the Pache thing with the bunt. Hey, guys, please stop running so poorly on the bases. Thanks. Fucking run better on the bases! See the difference? Take away playing time. Sit someone on the bench. Someone that actually has meaning to the team. Someone that it might actually hurt you that he's not playing that night. Well, bros, every win is important. They're not winning anyway. And that makes the point more effective. What you guys are doing is so wrong that what I need to do to prove to you that there needs to be changes made mentally on the bases, unfortunately, because you've been so bad, I have to hurt the team. You guys are so pathetic on the bases, and you're not listening, and you're not doing what I'm asking you to do. Therefore, my back's against the wall, and you are forcing me to hurt the team because of how constantly you're hurting the team, or how consistently you're hurting the team. See how this works? I like that word. Mike says this in the chat. They're undisciplined. They are undisciplined. When is someone going to do something about it? That's the question I'm asking for this team right now. Is it ever? Or do they believe it's just going to evaporate? Every time you think that, or if that's what you believe, I don't think that, not with this team. But if you do, then why is it happening every series so far? I watch a lot around the league. It's not happening like this. Teams aren't running into outs as much as this team is. I'm not against being aggressive on the bases with the bigger bags. I like when Stock gets on first base and he takes off for second. I like guys trying to steal. I got no issue with what him and Trey Turner like to do. If they end up getting picked off at some point, or they get caught stealing, picked off is different. If they get caught stealing, trying to get second base, it's Trey Turner. That's part of their game. I could live with that. Part of your game shouldn't be rounding first base a little bit too intensely, and then you get, caught off guard. That's different. That's a different animal.
Well, I did say we'd take 3 of 4. Thing is, I said that loss would be game 3, not game 1. Bailey Falter got him to 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and it just unraveled from there. Unfortunately, all you can do is put it aside, flush it, and try and indeed make it 3 out of 4 starting tomorrow with Taijuan Walker.
I don't feel the same way. Just flush it, get back to the ballpark tomorrow. I think it's deeper than that at this point. I think it's more intense than that at this point, no? That's too lackadaisical. And I feel that's the problem with this team right now. Just going through the motions. I hope they're not looking at it the same way some fans are. You know what? We saw what happened last year. There's no reason to feel concerned. We'll just do what we did last year. Oh, yeah? All right, I'll put my feet up, and you let me know when you go on a big 65% win percentage, 650 win percentage, and do that again. Let me know. I'm not in the flush it and get back to the ballpark tomorrow mode. I'm do something about it mode. Because the reason why we're seeing the baseball we're seeing is because they're in the flush it. We'll get them tomorrow, guys. No, you won't. You'll lose to the Reds. You'll fall in a series to Miami. You'll have a chance to sweep Cincinnati and then blow the final game. You'll get embarrassed in Texas. You'll drop 2 of 3 in New York. Just get it tomorrow, fellas. Get real. Thank you all so much. I'm throwing this out before we end the show. And I'm starting to implement this more, and I want to challenge you all. That's right. You heard me. I want to challenge you all. Right now, on Apple Podcast, we're sitting at about 150 5-star ratings and reviews. Let's get that number to 200. Sports Talk with Broads on Apple Podcast. We had 150 or so 5-star ratings and reviews. Let's get that to 200. Spotify as well. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. So we're not just on YouTube. We're on Apple Pod, Spotify, Google Pod. Get me in your car because that sounds like a lovely thing to listen to while driving. And since we're plugging things away here, SeatGeek, promo code BROADS gets you $20 off for your first-time purchase. So get yourself to a Phillies game because we all know they're fun because the team's playing great. And you can throw hot dogs at people, apparently. Thank you guys all so much. Love you. See you another day. Hopefully that day's better than this day. What's life?